One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. It is a Friday. Get up in here. Get up in here. We are rocking you on your Friday. It is Good Friday. Good Friday with Good Life Russ. I am your auntie's favorite DJ, DJ Lane Love is in the building. Hopefully you are enjoying your morning. I didn't get my water yet, but you know what I'm saying. We'll get to it. We'll definitely get to it. Man, a lot of stuff going on, man. I have posted in the chat already. If you want to partake into the question of the day. The question of the day, of course. Did Jeezy tell the truth? Real N-words don't cheat. Real N-words don't cheat, and he was definitely heartfelt on that. And I know a couple of points that I would like to bring up during the course of this show that will confirm and will support his comment to Nia Long this week that real N-words do not cheat. And I like, you're probably going to like what I have to say, and then just to backtrack some of the things that happened in that interview. And then, of course, Common is in the news right now because he is now dating Jennifer Hudson. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning. Thank you so much for being on the check-in. Thank you for sharing. Common is dating Jennifer Hudson. And basically, Tim is going to laugh when I say this. When I used to go to poetry slams, and I used to see these brothers just talking so much righteous and how she was the sun, moon, and the earth. But then, you know, I would get word around the social network of the poetry that he was banging her. And I'm like, is these righteous brothers, or is these just players in disguise that just know how to string words together to, you know what I'm saying, get with the ladies, you know? So is Common a righteous brother, or is he just a player in disguise? And of course, as we know that Lori Harvey is now broken up with probably the fourth breakup, you know what I'm saying, within the past 2 years. My man Snowfall, I don't know his accent. Was Louis Saint?
Nah, Saint.
It's that Franklin, yeah. She broke up with Franklin Saint. That's what we know him as Snowfall. So, is Lori Harvey being passed around? Is she passing it out, or is she just dating? She's just being a woman of the 2023s, and she's just dating. You know what I'm saying? These are questions. Please don't get offended, because this is commentary that is amongst all the blogs and the chats and the conversations. You know, a lot of people do get offended when we talk about things like this. But, you know, why is it that we can talk about Common being a player, but we can't talk about Lori doing the same thing? You know what I'm saying? And on the Breakfast Club, it was asked, are they the new N-words? Because, you know, Common, he has a history. Serena Williams, Tiffany Haddish, now Jennifer Hudson. So are they loving him and leaving him? You know what I'm saying? But that should not overshadow the actual conversation of the day. It is part 2 today of Tim. Tim is in the building. Protecting your peace, the good side. We talked about the bad side. We're protecting your peace, part 2. We talk about the good side, and it all ties in together. Somehow, me and Tim find a way to tie it all in together. But good morning, Tim. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
It's a great morning to be alive.
That's why I wanted to play outstanding, because I feel outstanding. Regardless of what's going on outside, regardless of what's going on in the world, you know, I feel outstanding. Now, I do want to say congratulations. Issue 1 and issue 2. Get past, we can smoke weed, and you got control of your bodies, ladies. So that is protecting your peace, because you have control over what you do to your body. So, hey, shout out to Ohio for finally getting out of that Bible Belt stigmata and really, you know, just being liberal, being open, honest, and about, you know, what we should be able to do. Now, I would like to see some of the brothers free that are in prison, and my significant other did bring that up. Are we going to free those people who are under the old law? Because, you know, the law doesn't take effect for 30 days. Right. So hopefully that a lot of these brothers that are in prison on marijuana charges get a little grace, especially when they get to the parole board. You know what I'm saying? They might not get out, or they might have to do their sentence, but considering the new law, they might get a little pardon. So hopefully they use that or put that under consideration.
Yeah, and that they've started new releasing programs for non-violent offenders, but I feel like it's still federally illegal because for that very reason. Like once weed becomes federally legal, what about the people in prison? And I think that's why they're dragging their feet because they have no idea.
what to do, what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you free the brothers and the sisters.
Absolutely.
Not just the brothers, but there's a lot of sisters that are incarcerated for the same thing. So hopefully we free those people, or at least get them pardoned or released a little bit early so they can get home to their families, man. Because in this day and age, we really do have to do what we have to do. I don't knock street people because sometimes they are faced with no option. So we're going to get into it in a minute, but let's go ahead and talk about protecting your peace. Mm-hmm. Tim is the moderator of this show. I just bring it up and go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so last week we talked about protecting your peace from other people. So this week we're going to talk about protecting others' peace from us. And I think this is the piece that's missing in a lot of people's relationships. This is the piece that's missing in a lot of people's lives. We've grown to become quick to ask for something, but not as equally quick to give it. You dig? So we have to start putting ourselves in a position to where we're being mindful and considerate of a person before they have to ask us, before they get upset, before we feel their energy shift. We come into the conversation already thinking, okay, how is what I'm about to say and what I'm about to do going to affect them? You know what I mean? So I think in this one, we're going to do a little different because this is, I think, a new area for a lot of people. So I'm going to give people some bullets, some things we're going to discuss briefly.
We got bullets today. Let's go.
Because this is very intricate. This is a lot of how I think. This is a lot of why my relationships run the way they do. It's because I don't go to them looking for something, looking for love or attention or peace.
Nice.
I go to them trying to provide these things and teach them how to give these things to themselves. You know what I mean? Because how I'm moving with you is my lesson on how you could possibly move with yourself.
Nice.
So I think the first thing that plagues us in relationships in general is our ego. Like we have to lose ego in conversations.
Whoa. And Gigi speaks about that, but continue, please.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest ways that we have them in the conversations that we don't realize is the art of comparison. You know what I mean? When we're comparing our journey or our healing or our finances to another person's situation, that's ego. Right. There's no room. There's nothing healthy in that process. To conform you or to make you feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And a way I didn't realize I was doing this, but it was in my relationship. And it's because I think relationships are a safe space for all of us. It's a space that we want to step into and be able to leave our keys and leave our wallet and leave our phone. And you know what I mean? Things don't get touched. Things don't get disrupted. I put it here. It's here. It's not moved.
Right.
So we take that too far sometimes. And I think we start to dump on our relationships. I had to really realize I was doing that. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot of people I can really share my deep, heavy stuff with. So the relationship, you think that's the first thing. Like, okay, I want to be with a person I can talk to about these things. But before we get to the point of engaging in that with them, we got to ask ourselves, is this too much for them? Did they have a long day today before I just go dump my stuff on you? Are they emotionally capable to handle this type of news? Is the news I'm about to tell them going to trigger and remind them of their dad? You know what I mean? Like, this is protecting their peace from us. Because a lot of times we think we're doing a good deed. We'll get really excited about some news. We'll call somebody and they're like, man, I'm going through a rough time. And we sit there for a moment, then we tell them our news and we're trying to get them excited with the news. And it's you being too much. You being too heavy. You know what I mean? And the older we get, we shouldn't have to tell each other like, yo, you're being too much. There should be a voice in your head like, check yourself. Like, right. Enough. Stop. You know what I mean? That's what you should be healing and working for. That's the relationship you want to have with yourself. You check yourself before the world has to. That to me is the importance of healing.
Right.
You dig? Because now I'm not going out there damaging more people. And it's not because I'm still not hurt. It's not because I'm still not healing. It's because I'm being mindful of my healing. I'm being mindful of how I am when I'm not okay. So I sit out. You know, a lot of times when I was sitting out, other people's ego was saying, oh, he doesn't like us anymore. You know what I mean? Or what we're doing is boring. Or, oh, look, they got their radio show. He ain't got no time for us.
Well, you know, I will say Jeezy hit it on the nail.
Uh-huh.
Ego involved in relationships is one of two things. I want to control this relationship, or I want you to convert to my way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want my way of thinking being said and heard, and I don't really want to hear what's going on with you, or I'm not really trying to understand. It's not a mutual thing. Right. So when he said ego, it's just like, what's the other side of that? That's when you remove the ego. What's the other side? Am I really loving this person for who they are?
Exactly.
Or I've had this conversation earlier. I had to realize that sometimes I was making people, and I was making people to love them how I wanted to love them. Instead of loving them for who they were,
right,
I was always correcting them. I was always trying to correct, and what we mask it as is, I have to teach you how to treat me. Yeah. And there's a certain way that you still can teach somebody how to treat you. But at the end of the day, you can't make people. They had a whole life and a whole bunch of experiences before they even met you.
Yeah. And beliefs.
So you try to shrink people. You try to shrink people to fit in your life, because if you don't fit in my life, then I have to protect my peace. That's not protecting your peace. That's ego.
Yeah, that's attacking their peace. And
thank you.
And you can't look at it as that if you're not holding yourself accountable in life. You're going to try to say, okay, they're attacking me. You know what I mean? But again, this is my highest self. I ask myself initially, am I the problem? I take everybody else out of it, and I'm like, are you the problem in this situation? Yeah. And I'm okay with being the problem, because I'm gonna fix it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stay the problem. So I'm okay with being the problem. Like,
me too.
Because now it's gonna show me our relationship when you can come educate me on that. Not check me, but educate me. Like, yo, bro, I didn't like when you said that. You know, and it's because, and you don't always have to explain, but some people will. Like, it's because my uncle or my dad used to talk to me like this. So, you know what I mean? Let's keep that out of our friendship. Let's not talk to each other like that.
Because when you say, I don't like that instead of attacking the person, that person can now come and say, well, what is it that you don't like? Exactly. Now, and it still gives that person the power to continue, or, you know what I'm saying, alter if they want to at least not, you know, get on your bad side, or if you want that camaraderie, that harmony. So it still gives that person that choice by just saying, but when you say, you did this and you did that, that's still ego. Like, they didn't do anything. Yeah. They're being themselves.
And that's a lot of times, to me, is because miscommunication. We don't have the rhetoric of what we're trying to say. We feel one thing, but we're saying another thing. And that's why I am so analytical. I overanalyze what I'm saying, and me watching how it's making this person feel. You know what I mean? Good or bad. And a lot of times it's our rhetoric. It's the things we're saying. I found this out, like, when me and my relationship are having a difficult conversation. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's many ways to say how you're feeling, but a lot of times how we come out we're feeling is, I'm angry at you. That's what it sounds like to them. You dig what I'm saying? So I verbalize, I'm angry at the situation. I'm angry at the circumstances.
Sure.
I'm angry that we're doing the techniques to not get here and we keep landing here.
Yeah.
You dig what I mean? I'm not mad at you, because I still have to do the work with you. So if we're going into doing the work and you thinking I'm upset with you, that's going to alter your work ethic. That's going to alter where your mind, you're distracted.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So now I'm attacking your peace. I'm making you uncomfortable. I'm distracting you.
Right.
And there's ways we can do that, and in our mind where we don't feel like we're doing anything wrong. And this is why when I was younger, if I'm in a relationship and I can really see, like, okay, I know how to communicate, I know how to do these things, but these are areas that you need to improve on. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I would move on, because honestly, I'm holding you back. And I can see how this situation will benefit you, but it doesn't really benefit me. So the longer I stay in it, I'm going to become more complacent. I'm going to become what we've been talking about on the show. I'm going to give you the lowest version of me that I can, and that you'll still stay around and I still get my benefits. You know what I'm saying?
and that's what one of the preachers said. He was like, when you shrink a man, he can still survive in that relationship, but he becomes his lowest self. He becomes a version of that man that you don't like. He's only going to speak when he needs to speak. He's not going to share anything, and a lot of things in that resentment is going to continue to build till one day he won't be able to take it anymore. Same with a woman, you know what I'm saying? When she's constantly not being heard, you know what I'm saying? When she's constantly being pushed to the side, because a lot of times we think leading is you're going to do exactly what I say. Leading is not you're doing what I'm saying. Did you get the buy-in? When we talked about this is the destination, this is where we both want to go, did we both get the buy-in? Because when I'm out front, it just means I'm driving. We're all in the car.
Exactly.
But I'm just the one driving the car. And that's what people need to understand about leadership.
And this applies a lot to both sides. But these are the areas that I would shift and say, this is a man thing we have to work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of men are not fit to lead. You dig? I say all the time, like, it takes a man to be king. Not a boy.
Yeah.
Not a guy. A man. You have to be a man. Not a male.
Yeah.
You have to be a man. You feel me? And a lot of people aren't men in their dynamic, but they're head of the household. They are the breadwinner. They're the fascinating one in the relationship. So they feel like they're leading by comparison. This is the ego.
Right.
This is how a lot of people date. They date people they feel like are more damaged or broken than them, so you have something to teach them, or so you can look like the one that has it together.
Right.
But that's me attacking your piece. I'm not allowing you to be the lane. If I know there's this girl in high school and she has a crush on me and I have no intentions of her, I can't flirt with her. I can't make her think I feel the same way. That's irresponsible. You dig what I'm saying? Now I'm coming for her piece because now she's gonna be unraveled, thinking like, man, does he love me? Does he love me not?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not fair to people. And we have a lot of those entanglements with people. Those is what I consider trauma bonds. Like, you rocking with this person, but all you do is talk stuff about them. All you do is write your journey, how bad they are. All you do is have bad dreams about them. Like, you need to leave them alone. We got to get out of that. Well, I'm going to treat you bad enough till you leave me. Why can't I just leave you alone when I identify I am the one making this disproportionate? And again, that doesn't have to be good or bad. I like to read. I like to study. You don't. I'm the one making this unbalanced, so I have to be responsible for that.
You know, I think more people need to realize that they are afraid of what's on the other side of separation.
Absolutely.
More people, and it's more than being afraid to be alone. It's just they're afraid to see what's on the other side of this. It's like, well, I've brought this person into my life for more than a year. I brought this person in my life and they become a fabric. So I'm scared to see what life is like on the other side of this person. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, like you said, they stay and knowing that no one side is doing the work. Now, when there's a disagreement and both sides agree, like, you know what, we really want to make this work. We want to do the work. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But when you're in that relationship and you know that nothing is changing, but you're too afraid to let go, you're really not protecting your peace at that point.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's because it's one-sided. You know what I mean? We only look at that good experience as, okay, this was a good thing, instead of sometimes looking at the reality that a mutually beneficial situation is a good thing. The same thing happened to me on the reverse with my youngest daughter. Like, me and her mom are super cool. But one day we just mutually was like, yo, why are we in a relationship? Like, we're really good friends. We could pay bills together and work, but we don't have a relationship. There's not intimate. We don't talk. We don't like. Yeah. So we mutually is just like, let's just co-parent. And that was one of the best decisions I made in my life. And that was new for me at the time. Yeah. Because the only thing I knew at the time was leave.
Yeah.
So now this isn't leaving. This is us realizing, like, what are we doing? We're wasting each other's time. We're dragging our feet. And I think that big fear for a lot of people is the fear of starting over. And it's because the awareness of dating. Yeah. You look at people talk about dating, like the dating pool is dirty. It's got pee in it. Like, people are afraid to start over because they know what's out there.
Right.
But to me, this is what I mean by, like, my loved one should be trying to protect my peace. Be with me because you love me. Don't be with me because you want to be alone. Don't be with me because the dating pool ain't ish. You dig what I'm saying? Be with me because you want to be with me, because then you're protecting my peace. Because now I don't have to wake up every day and wonder why you're here.
Absolutely.
I know why you're here because you're showing me every day. You dig what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got to look at both sides as a good thing. But we're taught once we get in a relationship, the only good thing that can happen is marriage. No, sometimes the good thing is y'all realize we shouldn't be together. We're better as friends. We're better as colleagues. We might be siblings. You might be a family member. You know what I mean? We rushed into it. And that's why we got to get rid of the ego. That's pride. When someone's saying, oh, I've come too far to turn around. I've come too far to start over. That's ego. It ain't never too late to start over. That's why I consider myself a spiritualist. The universe showed me life is constantly about starting over. So me ruining my life will be trying to go against that grain instead of just accepting it. Life comes with change. You did?
Well, I did, like, somebody told me that, you know, the African village, right, is like everybody plays a part. So even like you said, if there's a marriage breakdown or something like that, there's somebody that village comes into play.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think a lot of times in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, a lot of what messed us up is that granddad, grandma, they did stay in these marriages, and it did trickle down into the children and things, that instead of really, like you said, making that decision like, this is no longer working, I am no longer happy. I think the children would have been a lot happier if they had understood it. Hey, this happens, but we were taught that no matter what, we got to keep this structure together, no matter what, instead of looking at it more village like let's protect, because even if, you know, the marriage broke down, there was still the aunts, the uncles.
Exactly.
And if it was a healthy breakup, dad could still come by for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Mom could still, we could, but we didn't think village like. We thought Bible like, you know, no matter what, you cannot get a divorce. You cannot do this, that, and the other.
Messy. And that's how the world got here. People started to live completely through comfort. And there's nothing comfortable about a relationship. There's nothing comfortable. You shouldn't get comfortable. You should always be on your P's and Q's. You should always be aware. So these are things relationship stop practicing that was already set in place. We talk about on the show all the time. To get married, you used to have to go see a marriage counselor. You could not get married unless it was ordained. You couldn't just go get married. You know what I mean? They got rid of that because they were starting to see that works against family. All of these things are just things that work against family. And we adopted a lot of them. That's why, again, you have to hold yourself accountable. It's easy to just say, the man did it to me. Like, no, what did you do? You know what I mean? And this is how now my children, my colleagues, my peers, I'm starting to teach the intricacies of a relationship. Yeah. Because now this is protecting your partner's peace. You know, I was talking about this the other day in a lecture. Like, imagine the people that you talk to about your partner if they defended your partner versus the people you talk to are siding with you.
I like
and that's how marriage used to be. If I was going to go talk to somebody about my wife, it's someone who's going to defend her. Yeah. If she's talking to someone about me, it's someone who's going to defend me. So she gets both perspectives. Not because it's a war or a competition. Exactly. It's just, sis, you're only naming bad things about them. What about the other side? You're with them. So it must be something good going on. Yeah. So you need people that advocate for them. But again, you have to put those in your life. And we got so comfortable and complacent. We're just like, all right, you pick your people to advocate for you. I'll pick my people to advocate for me. You know what I mean? And it has to be the reverse.
You have been that for me on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I like how when I'm in turmoil with a loved one, you show me both sides of it. It's not so much, okay, now you're still my brother. You know, you're going to beat me down. You're not going to beat me down while I'm hurting. But you still show me a different perspective. I'm like, oh man, I didn't think about that. Okay, let me still work on me. Let me heal me while I'm still looking at or empathizing with the person that I have strife with.
And those lines are important because the lines of why we have that is respect. Yeah. And this is why I say parents cannot furlough respect when you're trying to raise your children. You cannot raise them on fear and authority. They have to somewhat respect you, to listen to you and learn from you. I'm like that. I grew up like that. A teacher that I didn't like, I couldn't learn 2 + 2 from them. Right. A teacher that I loved, they could teach me astrophysics. You dig? Like, it has to be a level of respect because I'm receiving something from you. I have to trust that this is right. Delane said we're all wearing green tomorrow. All right, I'm not going to check the flyer. I'm just going to put a green shirt on. Right. You know what I mean? If I don't have that respect for you, I'm going to come up in blue and then be awkward, then blame you. Like, why didn't you tell me, bro? Right. Like, hold up. You know what I mean? I'm not protecting your peace from me. I am thinking my role in your life is so important that I can cause you strife, that I cannot show up for you, that I don't have to reciprocate the love you do for me. Wow. So again, now, how are you translating, communicating that this person is your partner? If you don't want to treat your partner like royalty, why are you with them? You should not be with them. Forget what they're doing. Forget why they're with you. You need to stop being with them. So that's the only thing that I would predicate to being a righteous person. It's what you do for the people who can't do for you. That's what makes you righteous.
I want to bring Waleisha into the conversation, but before I do, I do want to address that real quick. When you start out as a representative, which is you showing the person your best self or what your attributes and your qualities are, the minute that you fall off from those qualities, the person that you have shown those attributes are, the first thing they're going to think is, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
What did I do to have this stop? Now, basically, you have to hear that person out, because now they're in their mind and their head. Now, it's still all ego play, but basically you introduce this person to something that, an attribute. I wouldn't call it a representative, because that could very well be who you are. But when you stop, it causes that other person to be like, well, what happened? You know? And if it's a period that you're going through, that needs to be communicated. Okay, we'll get back to this once these conditions are met, or once I'm in a better head frame. But a lot of times, you know, because people don't communicate, that's what causes the resentment. Well, you used to do this, now you no longer do it. You used to, because I've heard a lot of women say, don't introduce me to something that you can't keep up.
I hate that saying so much.
Yeah, but
I'll explain why, but I hate that.
But there's some validity to it, because it's like, well, why are you slacking? What? Because I'm still the same person. You know what I'm saying? So when you do slack, it's like, well, what happened? Are you getting comfortable? Are you getting comfortable with me now? You know what I'm saying?
And I can see that, but I guess my distaste for that saying is, in that scenario, you're focused on holding someone else accountable. All you can do is hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can ask me why I stopped doing something for you, but why did you start expecting it? Why did you become entitled and think I have to do this for you? No one has to do anything for you. Absolutely. Everything I give somebody, if it's a hello, a hug, a high five, is a gift. I'm not giving to you saying you're going to get this next Tuesday at 3 again. Look out for it. This is a gift. So why are you expecting it again unless you needed this? Now you're taking advantage of this. You're abusing this.
Right.
You're not using the medicine to heal. You're self-soothing with it. So again, you're not protecting my peace now, because now I have to come to you on Wednesday and kind of walk on eggshells and wonder if you're going to bring up that thing I gave you last Wednesday.
And on the flip side, you know, let's say a dude is used to dating.
Yeah.
Right. And taking that woman out on a date. Well, he could have lost his job. There are conditions
exactly
that could have, but you're having him uphold that standard, right? But there could be conditions made, or this bill came out of the blue, like, but you got me used to taking me out every week. So it has to be understanding on both ends, and it has to be honesty on both ends as well. Because, like you said, a man can't demand, you know, a trade-off, like, okay, I did this, you do this, but at the same time, a woman can't uphold a man to a standard either, because there are conditions on both sides. And like you said, when you communicate those conditions, if you're willing to stick around and stay and see what the other side is going to look like, then fine. But if not, you can get off that train at any particular time.
And it becomes miscommunication, because I feel like like you said, they're looking for the comfort in a relationship. So you start finding yourself trying to speak for the other person. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't bring you here because I didn't think you would like it. See, this is the mind of a man. I'm not taking you to that restaurant because I'm going to be taking you here the rest of your life. I want to see how you act in that restaurant. Mm-hmm. I want to see how you act when a random man comes up like, yo, you're beautiful. Like, what's your name? I'm bringing you here because I'm getting to know you still, even after marriage. That's why it looks different, because we have two different agendas. So once I get to the point of realizing we have two different agendas, I have to change things. I have to shift reality. Once something is addressed, reality is shifted. Once I come and say, yo, relationship, we got to talk. Things are different. We cannot go back to how things were. Either you're going to acknowledge what I said, or I'm mindful now that we can't have these conversations. So now I'm planning my future separately. But if we can talk, it's not about if it went right or wrong or who messed up. I just need to know that I can come talk to you when things aren't its best.
You know how I realize, and this is, I'm telling you, when I get these epiphanies and things of that nature, I'm like, dang, I just got this at this age.
Yeah.
But I realize the functionality is repetition. It is structure.
Exactly.
But intimacy should not be a chore.
Exactly.
I'm
You getting it, man.
Intimacy should not be a chore. So the things that I do for you should not be a chore. Now, if we have the functionality is I clean, you clean. This is what keeps the house going. The bills get paid on this date. That's functionality.
Exactly.
But the intimacy, the special things that I do, it should be because I want to, because I love you. So if I don't do this for 3 months,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing them for your peace, because it's no secret. The person you're with, it ain't a big secret of why they with you. So I'm giving you me. This is why you're with me. You're with me because I'm funny. I'm telling jokes. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm not doing this to get you. I'm doing this to keep you. I already got you. Now I have to keep you, and I'm only gonna keep you with that repetition. But it's that fear. It's that fear of all those people they dated that just showed them it for 2 months, and then they was worse for 8 months. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's why people like us get upset when we're on the other end, because that person that treated you like crap for 8 months, I've been treating you good for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you treat me worse than you treated them.
And sometimes they were on that yo-yo string for the longest time, because as soon as you want to walk out the door, then the cycle repeats. They'll do all the things that they did in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
They weren't protecting your peace. They're not for you.
Exactly.
They're for what you got.
Yeah.
Therefore, what you can do.
Yeah.
Therefore, what you can give.
So
they're not for you.
So is it safe to say there needs to be a balance there, because it shouldn't feel like a chore, but you just shouldn't fall off the face of the earth either?
Yeah, but that's where the double standards are foggy. That's where they're not as prevalent, but the double standards are still there. Yeah. You know what I mean? As a man, the first day I'm meeting you, if a guy was going to try to come hurt you, I would get involved.
Absolutely.
At no part of me would say, oh, we're just dating, or I just met you. I would get involved immediately. Once I take interest in you, I start protecting you. I start thinking about you. I start thinking about what you're eating. I start thinking about how people talk to you. I start thinking about how cold you could possibly get in the winter. Do you need a coat? I start thinking about your bills. You know what I mean? So this is now, I want to do those things if you're not looking for me to do them. If you're not just in my face, I need a man to pay all my bills.
Right.
You might have got them paid.
Yeah.
Because you're not protecting my peace. I got to go to work for that money. And I still got to be a dad. Right. And I still got to write these books. And we still got to do this show. And I still got to try to be a friend to people. So how are you protecting my peace by dumping more on me? Oh, you're going to have to go get another income. We're going to need a bigger house. We're going to need another car. That's more money for me. That's more stress for me. So when you're talking like that in the beginning, why would I think that you're about me? You're not protecting my peace.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you don't know how to protect your own, you're never going to know how to protect my peace. That's why I always start with the healing. I'm teaching you how to do it for life. Because we might not work out. We can be friends, but I want your husband to get the best possible wife he can out of you. I want someone to date my kids' moms. I got to say this on social media. I would not be upset. Take them off my hands. Make them happy. Like, I want that for all of y'all.
Now, I can't protect if I don't know.
Absolutely.
I can't protect what I don't know.
Absolutely.
So even though transparency must be earned, there are certain things, even off the rip, I should know. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the beginning of the relationship. So if I'm blindsided, yeah, you got to protect me now, because I didn't know this was happening. You know what I'm saying? So I think because I'm just like that. Like, you know, the minute I get them cheeks, hey, I'm boyfriend-esque, even though we don't have labels yet. I'm boyfriend-esque.
I just spent some money on you.
Yeah, exactly. We together. Because
we together.
Because going back to, I'm sorry, Walisha, we're gonna get you in here. But here's the thing. Going back to what you said about being a man.
Yeah.
I seen a lot of what it looked like, even though these guys were players, pimps, and all that stuff. I seen a lot of handling their business. You know what I'm saying? So when Don Vito Corleone said, only women and children can make mistakes. Men cannot make mistakes. It wasn't the fact that they're saying that you can't make a mistake. He was talking about accountability.
Yeah.
You can't, once you take this woman, once you take these kids, now you are accountable for even each and every single aspect. So you can't come to wifey and say, I fucked up the money. You can't come to your kids and say, I effed up the money. Now you're going to have to go out, and they shouldn't even have to feel that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because as men, we can't make mistakes in front of the people that we are protecting and providing for. So I wish more men stood for that, you know what I'm saying? But now we just have these shifty men like, you know, well, you're going to have to get a job. Okay, she can get a job,
Yeah.
But did you manage the household funds correctly?
Exactly.
Did you make sure that you went out here tricking and doing all these things that, you know what I'm saying, take away from the household? Then we could start talking about, hey, leadership and where are you taking me? Because once she sees that, hey, every move that you make is for the benefit of this household, I can follow. I can submit. Because I'm willingly getting in the car and letting you drive.
Exactly.
Because you have mapped out this entire destination and you have mapped out contingency for if something does go wrong.
Yeah.
You have this emergency kit in place to say, hey, if we blow a tire, I know what to do, or I know how to call for help. So that way, you know, like they said, women are nesters. So when they have, when they can not so much kick their feet up, but they know that he got it. I love when a woman looks at a man like, oh, talk to him. He got it.
The dependency of a relationship. And that's why these things aren't bad things. It's just, what context are they under? And for men out there, like, your woman is not mad that you made a mistake, that you messed up the money. You know what I mean? She wants to know what you're going to do about it. And this is what I mean by it takes a man to be king. Because if I mess up the money, which I have before, the things to rectify the money need to be my hobbies. So if I mess up the money, you know what I mean? My woman's not mad I messed up the money. She's like, what you about to do about it? So I need to rectify that within myself.
Right.
The first thing you need to get rid of is that smoking habit. First thing you need to cut back on is that Henny. Maybe you can't go to the club 2 times. Maybe not at all during the week. First thing you need to get rid of is that hookah habit. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's what she's looking for. Not for you not to make mistakes. What are you about to do? Because how you fix those mistakes, how you handle those mistakes is speaking to her. You're communicating with her.
Right.
And she can't unsee that. She can't just pretend like, oh, my guy's a winner, but you never come through for her. She's going to see who you are.
Yeah.
That's your woman.
Yeah.
Your kids, they're going to see who you are. They're around you all the time. You know what I mean? They want to be around you, so they're paying attention. So for us, that's why you got to protect their peace, because sometimes they don't know that you're attacking them. Ooh. They don't know that you're being toxic when you're asking her, yo, when you going to go to the gym? Ooh. You know what I mean? And it's not because you're asking her about her weight or when you going to go to the gym. It has to be consistency, because when it's not consistent, it's manipulation. If I never care about your weight until you piss me off, it's manipulation.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to
I'm trying to make you upset.
Shout out to everybody on the check-in right now. Adrian, hey, we got Uncle Joe's podcast in the building. Hey. Keisha Harvey is here. Hey, fresh off the plane, we got Wally, the bird plug, is in the building. Fresh off the plane from Ghana. She is here in the building. I know you've heard a lot of this ready. We're going to have to find a way to get you in at 9 o'clock, baby. We're going to have to find a way to get you in so we can come in all together. But today, we got you in here. What's going on, Mama?
What's going on, y'all? Thank you for having me again. Yeah, you know, Ghana was everything, and I wish I could be there with y'all in the studio. I just had to make a little trip real quick. So, yeah, I will be there next Friday.
I say.
Hey.
We're doing
in the building. Say again.
Hey, so I'm sure you can touch in on some of the bullet point topics.
Go ahead and keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all getting it in. Y'all just having y'all having a whole live conversation over there.
And this one needed the topic, the bullet points, because last week we talked about protecting our peace from people. So This week we're talking about protecting other people's peace from us. You dig? So the first bullet point was losing our ego in conversations. We got to stop comparing things. Stop comparing where we are in our journey, finances, love life, how your kids are, what type of parent you are. Like, nothing's comparable. We are all on our different path and journey, and that's beautiful. You dig?
Right.
We talked about how energy is not destroyed, but it's transferred. A lot of times when we think we're coming to our relationship to vent, we're dumping all of our stuff on them. We're dumping all of our baggage on them. And through time, we're not being mindful of how that impacts their psyche, how that impacts their life and their relationship with us. Because again, they can't hear and unsee what we vent about. You know what I mean? And then the last one is, the last one that we touched on, we got a few more, but it's rumors and gossip that spread negative from person to person. We're just passing that negativity around. The more we spread rumors, the more we gossip, the more we compare. So let's feel about these things. How do you feel about protecting someone else's peace from yourself? What does that mean to you?
protecting someone else's peace from me.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
I guess I think that, especially being single, it's hard to maneuver around certain situations and not giving false hope to
Yeah.
people in terms of how they think they can interact or connect with me. And so I think that it's been real easy for me to be like, I understand how to set the boundaries of this relationship.
Mm.
But you, on the other hand, think it's like the fresh thing since sliced bread because
Yeah.
I'm giving you conversation. And that's what I notice about most things with men. It's like I feel like women aren't having dialogues with men. And so when someone has a conversation with them, it's like, oh shit, that's my wife, and like vice versa with women. Oh, he opened a door for me or he did something. Oh, that's my husband. No, it's like these are things that are supposed to happen naturally. And it doesn't mean one thing or the other, besides it's natural. And it is something that we need. And so I think that and when it comes to protecting peace or their peace, I kind of make sure that the boundaries that I have set in place is basically going to assist with that process. Like I know the limits that I have, and I feel like everybody comes in with their agenda, right?
Yeah.
And the faster that you know their agenda and their purpose, it's easier to kind of categorize and move around and set boundaries even for that person or for that entity. So,
Hmm. I love
um,
that you said that. And I always talk about it on here and to other people because when you see two people that know each other, you would just assume they always knew each other.
Mm.
But
right.
realize they would have had to have met. And the way me and Walisha met, I would have never imagined somebody like you coming into my life. So I didn't know how to perceive her at first. So me and her had a conversation and we literally just laid out what it is and what we are. And we've been great ever since. That's
It's amazing. Yes. Much love. Yes, for sure.
part of the back. And what people got to understand is it's still scary setting boundaries with people. That is terrible.
Yeah.
But to protect their peace, you got to do it anyway. And it's been the best outcome. I love you.
Yeah.
Like
Because,
this.
yeah, same here. Same here. And it's like, I think that um, that was one of the things I felt in Ghana was the harmony, that connection with people. Like, okay, we put a lot of emphasis on things that really, like, if we just have the discussion and the conversation about what it is and what we're about, we can move forward faster. But it's people that's like, okay, well, I don't want to disclose everything because I may not be about what I'm about. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
But we need to,
So,
I think we need to introduce in the conversation healthy attractiveness. People just automatically think that when, someone is attractive, yes, you are looking at this person's attributes. You are looking at how God created this person. You are looking at the energy of this person. You are looking at this person being well studied, being articulate. So, yes, at the end of the day, you could be with somebody and there is an attractiveness because attractiveness has come into the room. You could be a well-fit person. I'm like, hey, I like the way this person carries himself. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to form a connection or anything like that. But the insecurity inside of us all, including myself, that says, why is she talking to him? Yeah. Why is he talking to her? But there is a natural attractiveness. And this is what we were talking about on Pretty and Petty. It's like once you make yourself attractive, you're going to attract a lot of things. And it is not unhealthy. For when I got myself together, I'm eating the right things. I am putting the right things in my spirit. I am reading. I am not going to be attractive to only my spouse. There are a lot of people, when I'm living in my element, I'm going to attract a lot of people, but it's our insecurity. I'm going to say this again, including mine.
yeah, for sure it is.
That says, you know what I'm saying? Well, they think they're all that. Well, he's got his radio show or she went to Ghana. She attracted these things. Yeah. To her life. So we have to really understand what the word attractive and attracting is, because we automatically go when, you know, these two in the corner. Well, she might have liked what he said, or that might have been funny. It doesn't mean she want to get with him, or it probably could have been like, let me feel where this is. Is she single? Is she not single? Once he finds out she's not single, okay, he's respecting the situation. And so the story goes. And what I'm saying is, like, let's look at the key word: attraction, attractive. We are constantly attracting.
Yeah. You said a word, and I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
touch
yeah, I was just gonna say that I think me and Tim has talked about this in private. That for me personally, it's like, you know, I was in my marriage for 15 years. So as far as attraction goes, there's times that I just naturally block things out because I wasn't looking for certain things. I wasn't looking to pick up on a certain type of vibe. And
Right.
I think once I separated and got divorced, it was clear how me finding self and seeing self and finding the beauty in self, how it was people were seeing that and wanted to verbalize that to me. And it was difficult for me because it's like, I'm not used to this type of attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nor am I out seeking, like, oh, come over here and
Right.
tell me whatever you gotta say, you know. Come approach me or whatever type of way.
But I was gonna add too, that's why, like, what Delane just said was the word, you dig? And I look at it even from a different angle to what I consider people's problem in that situation. I think people are too focused on attraction. I think people are who's attracted to them. And I do things in the opposite. I worry about what I don't attract, because then I stay away from those things. I don't have to worry about what I attract. Those things are already coming to me.
Well,
they're going, what you really attract is going to reveal itself. It's not going, you know what I mean? We can't ask for that, or we can't. You start going to the gym, you're going to attract fit people. You're going to attract people who live that lifestyle. So we got to focus on what we don't attract more so.
And you know, I'm not breaking you down because there's no homo here. He's over 6 feet tall, big arms, Walisha, hips, well built. These are things that are, you know, people pay for. You know what I'm saying? These are things that, you know what I'm saying, if you're well put together, you're going to attract these. Because
it's crazy though. It's crazy that you say that, because it's still, even for me, I feel like it's still something that we've learned. It's like we've learned this behavior that my body type is whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Tim is tall.
But we learn through natural stimulation. You see a beautiful woman, you're going to feel butterflies. You get nervous talking to her.
You see a curvy woman.
We learn through experience. We learn through repetition. I see what both of y'all are saying. You know what I mean? Because it's all the same thing. But I feel like the issue is not that we're honest. I feel like the issue is that we can't be honest all the time. And that's where we get into a lot of these troubles. But this is why I consider myself an old-fashioned person. What Delane just said about me, I see nothing wrong with. That's what I grew up in. My uncle used to talk about men like that. Like, yo, Frankie's a good-looking guy. That shouldn't be taboo. That's the problem.
I shouldn't have to say no.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You don't have to say
That's the problem. Exactly. He's saying Delane is a good-looking guy shows I'm secure within myself. Because if I was insecure, I would have to make Delane ugly around my girl because I wouldn't want him to be an option.
Exactly.
So since I'm secure with myself and I know nobody can compete with me anyways,
right,
I can be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can say it in a way that doesn't make Delane uncomfortable. That's how we know. Right. Yes, sometimes tone does matter. That's why I don't discredit everything you say. It's circumstantial.
Yeah.
But sometimes tone is everything. And that's the issue. The issue is not that people are attracted to you. It's how are you carrying yourself around those people who are attracted to you.
Yeah.
Because to me, I deal with a lot of ridicule from my relationships from women. Oh, you probably got all the girls. You probably just take them all. And man, what? Go find a girl that's trying to talk to me. I've turned down more women than I've talked to.
And honestly,
it's not even close. It's not even close.
I will say this. Some of them will say that's even game. I mean,
yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you,
he running game now.
He's running game
damn
now.
If I do, damn if I don't.
Because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm well past this. I'm in a relationship now, but my 2 years of celibacy, it was thrown. Like you could just tell, like, you know what I'm saying, what's wrong with me? So therefore now you're gonna try to prove to me that you are desirable because I'm not. I'm a DJ. I'm in one of the hottest clubs, you know what I'm saying, in Columbus, Ohio, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm not being a whore. I'm not being a whoremonger. So what's going on? And then of course the stigma is gay, is he like what? And you celibate. What kind of corny stuff is that? Like, bro, I'm protecting my peace right now because the last 8 years was just turmoil. Me making bad decisions, me making, you know what I'm saying, me being from one toxic relationship to the next, to the next, to the next. And I had to stop, like, oh, flag on the play, time out. Let me get why am I attracting?
Yeah, there it is.
Why am I attracting all of this?
There it is. Cat Williams said it perfect. You keep asking why these men, why they're all 8-ish, but why do you keep attracting them? Why do they keep coming to you? You know what I mean? And now we can protect each other's peace by healing that, because now when I come to this relationship with you, you'll never even know that was a thing. I used to stutter as a child. A person meeting me now could never understand that because I kept working on it. I didn't become a victim of it. I didn't go try to castrate other people to do it to make myself feel better about doing it. I accepted this is a thing people do. So now every person that stutters, I'm not going to judge them. I accept this is a thing people. That's how we protect others' peace. You just gotta be considerate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And like we said, this is the problem. The problem is we gotta ask for these things. The problem is people are out here starving and other people are full, and the starving people gotta ask for a bite to eat, for a pice of bread. That's a problem.
We have to ask and ask.
That's a problem.
I am so sick of people like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. When are you gonna start? When are you gonna start? I'm gonna start eating right. Today is fine. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then we're now protecting people's peace on a more condensed level. I like to get to the lowest common denominator of everything. I ask myself a question, I work myself all the way down to the basics. So now I'm protecting your peace because I don't gotta waste your time with these conversations. My spouse says she want to go see a movie. Now we can go see a movie instead of having to do my shadow work and unpacking why I gotta yell at you and why I gotta sit in the car for an hour when I get off of work. Now we can just go to the movies because I'm working on these things. I'm looking at them, and most importantly, I'm not looking at them and saying, my partner did this to me. I'm looking at them and being honest and saying, I brought this to the party, so I need to address it. I need to be responsible. And then you have the grace of a village, because the things you can't fix, that's why they're there. These are the people you're attracting to help you do the things that you never thought possible to do.
Shout out to Whit. Shout out to Whit, who she's a phenomenal chef, and she did share something that was just so it had the comments going, and she shared, you know, sharing your location is so lame to me, and I said, man, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, because some people share their location for protection. Hey, if I come up missing,
got all of their locations.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up. Straight up.
But there is a level of, if you got my location and you constantly checking what you're not in the right relationship. If you're constantly where's she at? Where's he at? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, is your what is the purpose? What is the purpose of sharing that location? You know what I'm saying? Is it for protection or is it to keep tabs? Because if it's to keep tabs,
I mean, it's still for both. It's for both.
Free slope though, because
it's for both.
Somebody could make the same argument about the lock on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, that's ego. Ego is you assuming I'm doing what I'm doing because of something you did. That's ego. And not just fathoming or imagining I could be doing this for completely different reasons that you have no idea. There's a lock on my phone now because Apple requires locks on your phone. Right. But to a relationship and someone saying, oh, you got something to hide. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we can't hold other people accountable, because we don't have all the facts.
Well, if you get your phone stolen, you ain't got a lock on your phone. They got access, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, to have the face, you have to have a lock on your phone. So if you want to unlock your phone with your face, you have to have a lock on it. Yeah. That's been like that for like 4 years now. If you want to have like password secure, like your Capital One account, you got to have a password on your phone. They make you do it. That's my point, but we don't hear those conversations.
Right.
It's the same with celibacy. I'm practicing celibacy right now. You know what I mean? Just for the intention of it.
Yeah.
Not because it's trendy, not because I can brag about it. I've done it plenty of times.
Absolutely.
But this is what you see on social media. Oh, people being celibate now. How many people y'all have slept with now? You got to be celibate. Like, you are already taking something pure and trying to manipulate it and trying to turn it into something else, because to me, that's who you are. We're just projections of how we think and how we feel in our experiences. Absolutely. That's who you are. So you can protect the rest of the world's peace. If you're having a bad day, sit this one out. Stay home. Turn your phone on. We don't need you on Facebook. I don't need you calling me if you're having a bad day. Sit this one out. That's how you protect others' peace. When I get a little antsy, I'll put my phone down. When I hear myself talking to my kids, I'm irritable, I'll chill. I won't talk to people for a few hours. If I'm having a bad week, I'm not talking to people that week.
Right.
But again, those relationships weren't working because it wasn't reciprocated. They don't understand I'm trying to protect your peace. On their side, see it as, oh, he's mad at me. Oh, it must be that thing I said Tuesday. Oh, it's because I didn't come to his party.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but you couldn't imagine that I'm just healing, that I'm just working on myself. That's the only thing that's happening. You did nothing wrong. I'm healing.
Because Jay-Z said it like this. Jay-Z said, no matter where you are, there you go. Right.
Exactly.
So I was looking at it like this. When, during those 2 years and I didn't have a spouse or anything like that, man, I'm able to get all this stuff done. Is this, that, the other. But I look over here and this dude got a spouse. He's able to get the same amount of stuff done that I am. Oh, well, I got all these kids. Well, there's a person over here with all these kids getting the same amount done. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't take yourself away from your distractions or anything like that. But the distractions that you say that you're taking yourself from, this person has the same amount. And he's doing something different. She's doing something different based on these elements. Like, oh, well, as soon as my kids graduate, this person got a house full of kids and writing books and going around the world and doing all these things. So it's just like, what are you doing? What decisions are you making? What are you attracting to your life? So a lot of times it ain't about the separation. It's your mindset. What are you attracting? What is your mindset?
That's why people hate greatness, though, because once one person does it, nobody else can make an excuse that it can't be done. That's why they don't like when you come through. That's why they don't like when we're in our highest selves, because we're taking all of the excuses away. We're forcing people to be held accountable. So again, I am doing that I'm protecting your peace now.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you discernment to protect your peace, because now I don't have to be around every time you have an interaction with someone attracted to you. I know what you're going to do because I see you do it. You did the same thing with me when we were dating. Women, this is the other side of that. This is how you build a reputation. You're leaving this relationship to be with this man. In the back of my head, you're going to leave me to be with the next person. And we've all had these things. That was my grandma. God rest her soul. But she used to tell me, like, never buy a woman shoes. She going to walk out your life in them. Like, these are things. So you got to be mindful. Everyone's being taught something different. You can't assume people know what you know or think what you think.
I said that. I said how you get them is how you lose them. But you could be the person to change that direction. You could be the person or the inspiration. Now, a person has to do their own work. Everybody has to do their own work. But who's to say that you aren't the person that introduces a new way of doing things?
I think how things have been going, I think people deciding I can still be that person has made them naive. And instead of them accepting the wheel is round, and this has worked since there's a wheel, they're still trying to make square wheels. And that's the problem. Just accept the wheel for what it is. Okay. The fact that you have to change it shows you do not accept it for what it is. As soon as your girlfriend has that weird, annoying cackle and you want to change it, this is not you loving her. You are attacking peace. She does not feel safe and comfortable to be herself anymore. And she came to you to be her safe space. Again, we know why she's attracted to you. You're big, you're brawn, men fear you. We know that attraction, but we cannot use that to manipulate people.
I think you misunderstood, though. What I'm saying is, and I'm asking the question directly to you.
Okay.
Let's say she does have a habit of being the runaway bride, or, you know what I'm saying, or when this love doesn't feel comfortable, she's off to the next, or she's monkey branching or what have you. And you actually come into her life and show her what looks like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's like, okay, you don't have to continue to run. Let me show you a different side of love, or let me show you that I am actually here to stay, or I'm not running game on you. And you prove this. Now, slowly her mind starts to change. Do you feel like that can happen?
Yeah, it can, but again, this is where now she has to be reciprocal of me. She has to protect my peace. Because again, this whole highlight has just been her. Where do I fall out into this? Because I'm still living under the sayings where people tell me you don't eat where you shit. You're not going to eat with the people who prepared the food most times. You're not going to actually be able to show the people the finished product who helped you heal. So if I'm here for that, this is why I've always had to have a separation for my relationships. And I tell them this, ask them this in the beginning. Am I here to help you heal, or are you looking for companionship? Because I can't be both. I can't be your mentor and your husband. So figure out which one you want me to be, because I'm going to put all my energy into one or the other. And you're still going to naturally learn things from me as your husband, but you won't get the husband as me as your mentor. You'll just get the mentor. Yeah. So if you want to go the husband route, there will be some things in mentorship you'll have to sacrifice. You may have to do therapy with a woman, with someone else instead of me. You dig what I'm saying? So we need to know these things up front. So no, I'm not saying it can't happen, but realistically, if this is a game of numbers, I'm not betting on a probability. I'm betting on a sure thing. I'm betting on the person that wants me, not the one that has the most potential to work, or the one that looks good on paper. Or these two couples move like us, so they work. That's comparison. This is all ego.
And this is why somebody can say as the day is long, I love you, I love you, I love you, but you're obviously like...
And it means nothing. And this is why we have all these pointless conversations of, oh man, does he still love me even if he cheats? The two are not connected to each other. The cheating is his commitment and his discipline to be a faithful husband. That has nothing to do with him loving you. Because I can love someone and not be in a relationship with them. I do all the time. More people that I love, I've never been in a relationship with than I do. So we can still operate out of love, see, but that's how they get you to not show love. They only show love to you if you're a brother, if I'm your spouse. I'm only doing that because I'm your girlfriend. I don't want that. I want you to rock with me because you rock with me. I don't need you to make an excuse of why you rock with me or like me. If you got to do that, you might not like me.
The story of my life.
You know why that's true?
You got to convince yourself you like me. You might not like me.
And this is not, you know, I love movie references. And this is not just pertaining to The Best Man, but I know a lot of Lances in my day.
Oh, man.
I've known so many Lances in my day that have come to me like, Lane, I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know. I love her, but I don't know why I keep doing the same thing. And they really, I could look in their face and they be like, man, I love this girl. But like you said, the two are not connected whatsoever because you're talking about a loyalty and a respect thing. That's a character thing.
Exactly.
And so when they can't control this, it is a character flaw. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that they don't love that person. And a lot of women are like, man, that's a bunch of bull. But I'm like, no, it's actually true. Like I've been on the behalf of that. No, he really does love you. You know what I'm saying? This man cannot control his.
But this is where men are now. This is where we're verbalizing to women, we are upset. This is where we're saying it's a lose-lose, damned if I do, damned if I don't. You wanted me to become Alexander the Great. You wanted me to become King the Conqueror. And now you get upset when I conquer everything. Like, what? Hold
on, wait, stop.
Now you're trying to dictate how big the tree grows. And you don't get to decide that. If you don't want a monster on your hand, stop creating these monsters.
I had to come to the realization that my character flaw is in reverse. I am a loyalist and a respectful person. Love is skewed because I never knew what it was look like for me. I love people wrong.
You learn to operate without love, and that's
I love people very wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I love with an ego. Yeah. But as far as and this is what I would always get, like, I don't cheat on you. I do this and I do that. I'm like, delay, that don't mean shit because you are loving me so wrong. Like, I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's the protecting the peace. This is what I've always told relationships that I'm going to do till I'm blue in the face. I will leave because you're like threatening my peace well before cheating ever arrives. People can work through cheating. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't work through you disrupting my peace. Because of how I associate the people that disrupt my peace, you're in my psyche, you're going to start looking like an op. Yeah. I'm going to start, and I know, and this is what I mean by KYP. This is why today we are talking about the effects of other people, but we're talking about ourselves. This is what makes me a secure Black man. It's not what I do. It's because I know myself. I know if you keep talking to me like that, it's going to be a problem. bro, I know if you don't give me that money back, we not gonna be cool no more. I know me, and I don't pretend I'm someone else to benefit other people. That's me protecting your peace. I don't be phony with you. And people think that's a thing for me. Like when people say, oh, I don't like liars, but they lie all the time. No, I'm literally doing this for you. And it's because, like me and Lane said on the show before, I know how quickly things can go left. Yeah. So as a person who lived on that left, yeah. I resided on that, all my mail came on that left side.
What's so?
I can't put other people through that and walk around high and mighty like I'm helping people. I can't be out here passing out candy and passing out crack. Like, you have to a lane, dog.
I think that's why me and Tim rock, because I'm a Leo, but I have a Scorpio moon, which definitely means Scorpio moon, you could really think getting over, but I really got a plan for your ass. Yeah. And you don't even see it coming. And that's just one of the things that people be like, oh, you're so evil. I'm like, no, you did it first.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it feel? You know what I'm saying?
And the worst I'm gonna do is hurt your feelings. I'm not gonna mess with your money. I'm not gonna mess with your kids. I'm not gonna mess with your spouse. I'm gonna hurt your feelings. I'm gonna humble you. I'm gonna humble you.
because as Tim said, I like what my woman said. I'm a fixer, so I'm not gonna do nothing to mess up my peace. I'm not going to jail for you.
Exactly.
So that's the case. But what I'm saying is that, shout out to everybody who's on the check-in right now. Do me a favor. There's 5 people here. Go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button right now and share this on your page, because this is good. We are 3 deep. We are 3 deep in here today. So please, if you are all you ghost people that's checking in right now, I see you.
Wave.
Say hello. All the people that want it. And you are who I was talking about the other day when I made that post about you are ghost seers, and you know that you hit the like button and share this on your page, okay? Go ahead, Tim.
But yeah, so we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna bring Walisha back into with the topics. So the next one I gave, because now we're gonna start, and this is what we have to start being mindful of, not just practicing in our life, but other people's life as well. If you have something ill to say to somebody or something negative, also find something positive to say as well. Don't avoid what you have to say. Make it even. Give them balance. So relationships need, this is now my subtopic, things relationships need before we get into the relationship. So relationships need phases, you know what I mean, and phrases. Like, we have to get rid of, I'm trying to find somebody who can handle me. Phrases like this, terms like this. You dig what I'm saying? I'm trying to find someone who can put up with me. That's toxic. So we're already planting a negative seed and expecting fruit to grow,
right?
And expecting the neighborhood on gossip and rumors and lies. You dig what I'm saying? So what Delane just said is the next topic. We can't fix other people's problems or assume they even have a problem.
Man,
we get into a lot of trouble trying to help people when they ain't asked. And you know what I mean? Like, this could be their journey. Their journey could look like they fall all apart and put it back together. We don't know enough. So my grace for Delane is assuming he got it. If I'm going to assume something, I'm going to assume you got it. I'm going to assume you're going to figure it out. I'm going to assume if you need help, you're going to call my phone.
Absolutely.
And we've both done that every single time. So then we're not just manifesting. We're not just praying. We're participating.
Absolutely.
We're saying things. We're following up. I'm not asking my daughter about her dance recital. I'm bringing it up again. Do you even still like dance? Do you need new shoes? Is there a little girl in your class you need to come to the conversation? You feel me? Like, I'm asking, even being silly, I'm asking everything just to break that ice. So relationships need communication before you get into the relationship. That should be your foundation. Religion, spirituality can be the decorations. It can be added, but the communication needs to be the crust. It needs to be the base. That's where you start layering everything on top of, because then again, I'm not predicated on if you make a mistake or not. I know you're trying to fix it. That's all I care about.
And that's so funny, is because I say this, I tell somebody, I have so much going on. Don't tell me in the moment, and don't tell me the day of, because now I have to adjust. And it's not that I don't want to do this for you. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. But the minute you tell me the day of or whatever, now I got to adjust. The minute you know and you need my involvement, just communicate. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is, like, because I do have the wrong tone. a lot of times. When I talk to my
same here.
family members, because I've been an authoritarian for so long. I've been the big brother. I've been the big cousin. I've been the, you know what I'm saying? The responsibility was placed on my shoulders very early in life. So I've always had to play a father role. This is why I'm big cousin to my family. And this is why you see the resentment, you know, that you know, you're not my dad, or you see the resentment in my cousins now. You see the resentment in a lot of my children and stuff like that, is because now that they're grown, but I've had this authoritarian posture all my life. Yeah. So when you come across somebody like, hey, why didn't you just tell me today? Why are you just now telling me today? Why you gotta talk to me like that? Like, because you know me. I haven't changed in 49 years. You know, this is the tone, because I'm in charge of lives. And I have a military background. Shout out to all the veterans today. I have a military background, sports, you know what I'm saying, point guard. So at the end of the day, I'm calling plays. Yeah, naturally. And I can't be polite, but everybody looks at me and holds me accountable for my tone. I'm like, when we're on the field, you can't worry about my tone. We gotta get through the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? So I really can't protect your peace at this point.
And we're gonna call this the phrase of the year in 2023. It's KYP, man. It's know your personnel.
Yes.
A lot of you good people, this is why you on Facebook saying, why does it seem like everything bad happens to me? Because people are manipulating the good about you. They know you come through. That's why they do it last minute, because they know you're going to get out of bed and come help them. They know you last once they've tried everybody else. They want everyone else to help, but they know you're going to help.
But they don't want
But that's why we have to give ourselves grace. That's why we have to look at that and say, you know what, I'm a good person. And not say, well, I'm just a mom or I'm just a dad and I just do. You're a great. People think to call you when they're in trouble. Right. That's a good person.
Right.
People feel comfortable just telling you their deepest, darkest secrets. That's been my whole. I could be on a train and the lady's just like, let me tell you something about my son. I'm just like, have we met? Do I know you? Am I your son? Why are you telling me this?
You carry that healing energy.
And I never knew. It used to be overwhelming. Yeah. I used to resent it. I hated it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I cursed. You dig what I'm saying? And then I was allowed to be a part of it. I had to go through that. I had to resent it. I had to question it. I had to doubt it. You feel?
I'm listening.
So then it started to teach me how to deal with other people and realize a lot of people are alarmists. They're trying to get your blood level up and down. They want you living in that chaos and inconsistency. So I had to start setting my boundaries.
Right.
And one of my biggest boundaries is a procrastination in your life does not warrant an emergency in mine. It doesn't.
Say it again one time.
Procrastination in your life does not warrant an emergency in mind. So once you're ready to start eating right, even though I've been showing you for 2 years how to, that's not going to get me out of bed in the morning. Because I already been getting out of bed. I already been out of bed. So that has nothing to do with me. And that's why a lot of my friendships fell by the wayside. Because they wanted me to become ready when they decided they were ready. And that's not fair, because the relationship could have also worked mutually. You could have saw I was ready and started to become ready. But you chose to leave it up to the universe and hope I was going to be the good person you know me to be. And I was just going to come around and everything was going to be all good.
Wait, you know.
And I pulled the table from up under y'all.
Well, Alicia, I want you to jump in. Because I feel like I'm getting the vibe that we are the strong people in our family. Mm-hmm. I'm getting this vibe. I'm not sure what role you play, but I'm definitely the strong person in my family. And what frustrates me is like, who looks out for the strong person? Because we're not going to be the one to complain. We are going to be the one to figure it out. But then, you know, it cracks me up that, you know, for these strong people, you could be there for somebody 10 times and they can't be there for you one time. You're just looking like, man, you know, but the minute you say no, you're the horrible person. Oh, why are you doing me like this? I'm like, bro, you have not been there for me one time that I've asked you, oh, you know, I got to get this big lecture. Man, you should be making better decisions. Like, you should be making better decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and this is what causes, like you said, the separation, because the minute you say no, now you're being funny. Now you're being different. You think you're too good and this, that, and the other. And it's like, man, you really have to protect your peace from the people that want to blood suck, that want to leech, that want to just suck. Because once you find out, you see somebody, you can't unsee it at this point. Yeah. You can't unsee, like, oh, dang, you really didn't have my back because maybe I never hit you up for 4 years. But today I need you. Dang, you can't be there for me? Wow.
See, you know, for me personally, I just got rid of that narrative because I knew why I was saying no. And I just couldn't. I'm here. I can hear myself playing in the background. Hold on, it's weirding me out because I got it playing in the background. Hold on. Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear feedback? Do y'all hear feedback?
No, it sounds really good.
Okay, good, great. Um, so yeah, it's like, oh, shit. Trying to gather all my thoughts.
So what new narrative did you create?
Bring me back to the conversation.
That was Delane's comment.
So bring to the conversation is like I presume that we're all strong people.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
how?
Oh, the no. It was the no, right? Saying no, right?
Yeah.
Saying no to people. I think that for me, it was like I knew why I had to say no in certain situations based on the person. I think that, like, I had a situation recently where someone had promised me to. They didn't have money to pay for a meal. And they was like, but I do this thing, you know, I can barter with you if you can pay for my meal. I'm like, okay, bet I do need this service that you offer. It was like a write-up of, like a bio write-up. And her choice of words I thought was really dope. And I said, yeah, I would love for you to do that for me. That would be amazing. I think it's worth the meal. Right. And it was something else. But then she reneged by saying, oh, copyright and this, and that, and the other. Like, bitch, you got a whole meal. No, you need to produce. Ain't no copyright my ass. Like, you know, it was like, but then I let that part go. But then it was like, I seen how, because she has my direct contact, she tries to just hit me up on the regular, asking me basic ass questions about my life, thinking that she can have the front row seat to just text me and call me anytime. But I let go of not feeling like I needed to respond to her every single and giving her an exclusive of what the fuck was going on with me.
Right.
Like, we're not doing that. So I think that kind of the narrative alone, I think, is based on the person, based on your relationship with the person. So you have to calculate that and situation. Like, I've been in certain situations over and over again, and I had certain outcomes that was great, and I had some that wasn't so great. So I can go into a situation ahead of time and say, hey, the type of energy I need to put in here, what level of everything I need to give to this particular situation, so that I don't end up on the feeling a certain way. Like, I got to protect me first, because other entities are not going to be like, oh, let me go protect Wally. Let me be her first in command protection, all this, that, and the other. That's not happening in any world. So I have to make sure that I cover self first, right? And in doing that, I'm covering other people, because I'm managing what energy needs to go where. And how much of it, because I do have it to give, right? But I also know that everybody don't deserve. I'm learning that now. Like, literally, I was like on the back end of a lot of situations, but it was my own fault because I wasn't learning. Like, okay, yeah, you are a giver by nature. Yeah, you have these skills and this, that, and the other. Yes, you are here for the people and all of these great things, but it's still not everybody deserves it. How crazy is that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That you would still have to put up some type of defense system to still even protect those that are in close proximity because of nature, because of, kinship, So a lot of people got direct contact with you for that reason alone, and being comfortable to say no in any given point is, for me, a great achievement, because I've always been a yes, 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 or figure out how can I help you, give you the shirt off my back, this and that and the other. Who is these narratives we say have been detrimental to self, right? Because if it's not me, if I'm not here and present, then y'all don't get nothing. So no,
Exactly.
y'all don't come before me. Even my children, no, you don't. Yes, you're in thoughts, right, of me, and how I move and that and the other. But still, I have to be of sound mind, and I have to be well put together to be able to perform in all these areas for everyone else.
Mhm.
That is
Um,
key number one in Navy survival. When you are taught to save a life, you must not jump into the water. You have to make sure that you are secure, and you cast that net or that pole out, but you don't jeopardize your safety. You
Yeah.
just basically put the lifeline out
Don't
there,
try to be a
and
hero.
it's up to that person to grab that lifeline and pull them out, but never compromise your safety. So people really have this negative connotation when it comes to the word selfish. No, it's self-interest. I have to make sure I'm okay to be able to help
Yeah.
you. If I'm weak, then I
No
cannot
one gets
assist
help.
you.
yeah,
Exactly.
And I think
yeah,
you another narrative of what you said, and I think sometimes that's what's causing the disconnection because people think boundaries are punishment and boundaries are protection.
Mm,
It's
yes.
not punishment.
right.
And it, to me, boundaries show how much you're in tune with yourself, right? And with the people around you. So if I know you gotta, like, you got the tendency to be a habitual liar, and I allow you to be still in close proximity, I would be a fool to take everything you say for face value. You understand what I'm saying? But the boundary that I set up is, hey, let you speak freely because you have a tendency to be who you are. That's who you are. You're a habitual liar. And I don't have to allow it to affect me in a negative way because this is who you is. I accepted that. I accepted who you show up as, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I was in my older self, I would try to be arguing with this person and correcting them and help trying to change them. It's like, nah. When they ready to change and be like, I want to be truthful, I want to live the truth, and then we can have a different conversation or a
Man,
different energy type of shit.
I think it shows too, like even in your analogy, like that's the manipulation. That's if people really wanted to understand what gaslighting is, that's what gaslighting is.
man.
Someone doing something to you that they know is detrimental or going to hurt you, and then getting upset about how you react or respond to what happened. And that's a lot of these relationships. People try to make you feel guilty about seeing that they're messing you over, like they stab you in the back. They're not being loyal. You know what I mean? And again, because of who I am, I'm not going to treat you any differently because of that.
Right. That's what
I
I mean. Mm-hmm.
move differently because of that. Also, two
Right.
things
This
be
is true.
true.
Thank you for saying two things can be true. Because I can have a feeling, and I'm gonna put a filler out there. And the minute you react, because there's two people that's gonna be honest with me: a drunk person, angry person. So I can say something,
Oh, talk about that.
and the minute you react in a certain way, I'm like, bingo, thank you, I
Yeah.
appreciate you. Now I'm not gonna be mad that you reacted this way, but now I got the truth of how you really feel
Yeah.
about me. So thank you so much.
So did they really do anything wrong? And that's what I mean by protecting other people's peace from ourselves. Because if we really dissect that situation, they did the best thing possible. You showed me your true colors, and now I can move on with my life, not wondering
Right.
colors or not.
Right. So I wouldn't say it's nothing wrong. No, it's definitely something great because at the end of the day, people being them authentic selves helps you be able to move the way you need to move. And that's what we're missing. We're missing pieces because people are out here not being their authentic self. They're showing you one side they're trying to imitate, and may feel something different in their heart, and
They're
may
trying,
think a different way.
and to me, soulmates align. Soulmates are not people who are attracted to each other. Soulmates align. They're people who feel like we could have been born in the 1200s and we would have met up. We would have been smugglers and bootleggers, but you would have been my woman. I would have been your man. And that's an alignment. That's so much deeper than we both like strawberry cheesecake. You know what I mean? That's so when I'm at my worst, when I'm at my just most depleted, that is a wife to me. Someone who is still going to love me when she's upset.
Right.
Someone who's still going to love me when I'm not being the man that I show her I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
That is your soulmate. It's the people who find excuses and reasons to love you.
And please,
not reasons to criticize you.
And please stop using DNA as a reason for us to come together because I no longer look at
Wait, what?
DNA.
Oh, children. You mean children?
I am happy when
Okay.
call themselves disowning me and doing all this. I am happy to let you go at this point because now we are no longer in alignment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. And I will add too, quick before I let her go. I think that what you said is perfect. That is how relationships should be. I think it's two people choosing each other. Again, not making those excuses. We meet up on Thursdays because we got the same grandma. Like, I don't want that. And
Right.
some people can like that. To each his own. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying I don't want that. That's my boundary. I'm saying if you move that way, we won't be moving anywhere.
Right.
But if you can learn to love me for me, it's going to open so many doors. And one of those doors could potentially come to us realizing, man, we ain't got chemistry anyway. It's like, you're a good person, but nah, I'm going to go hang with my friends. You're going to go hang with yours.
I laugh and I scoff when somebody says you're dead to me. I'm like, but I'm alive to so many other people.
Hey, I felt that though too, and a lot of people is dead to me though. So I felt that too.
I'm alive, great, because guess what? The old version of me is dead. He's no longer coming back.
Exactly.
The person that you try to keep in this box, go ahead and put him in a casket because he's not coming back.
Yeah, and to me, that's me protecting your peace when I kill you. Like, you can still live, you just don't live in my world. People do not bring you up in conversations. I don't get upset about what you do. I don't criticize what you do. That's the beauty of being dead to me. It's not good or bad. I'm just, which is the worst we say on the show, I'm just indifferent. I don't feel any way about it. And you're going to realize through time, you ain't going to like that option. But there was a boundary to where we could have been civil, and our civility could have been talking once a year. And then there's people I talk to every day. Yeah. So every relationship's different, and I don't treat the two the same. I treat you how you treat me.
Yeah.
Period. You show up for me, I'm gonna show up for you, and that's where I compromise myself because I tailor myself just to show up for people. And then I found myself 9 times out of 10, I get done helping someone and I feel depleted. I feel upset. I'm angry. You know what I mean?
Well, Alicia, I don't know you want to jump in, but I'm telling you this like this. A toxic person is a toxic person through and through and through. Yeah. So there's no way that you don't say, like, well, you're trying to cast this campaign over me. Then people are going to eventually find out who I really am. So now they have the option to say, is what they're saying about you true? Or maybe it's just true over there. You know what I'm saying? It might not necessarily be true in this particular circle. So I love when people be like, oh, he's really this way and he's really that way. They're going to find out. Trust me, they're going to find out.
Have we ever talked about attracting toxic people? We don't have to have a topic on that. Attracting toxic people.
Touch on it.
Yeah. I'm just saying because I know like I have attracted some toxic people and I didn't know if that also made me, how toxic was I at the moment that I was attracting these other individuals?
So that's the beauty of attraction because attraction is not intentional. We're not trying to attract something. We're acting, and attraction is happening as a result of that. So you're going to attract. The more powerful you become, you attract both sides, and it's because one side can relate to you, and one side is caught up in the mystique, the mystery of you. So you attract both. That's why it's important for us to heal, and that's why discernment is so important. We have to be able to differentiate between lust and love and attraction and fatal attraction.
All of those.
That's why you can't just hang out because of DNA.
Right. So
they're not all the same.
And this is why it cracks me up is that when people want to paint this picture of you, the picture is painted once I didn't fit in the mold you wanted me to fit in.
Exactly.
Once I told you no, now I'm a bad person. But before this is what used to crack me up about all my exes. Like, y'all running around town telling everybody how bad I am, but you was trying to get back with me. So the minute you got free, why did you try to, hey, I think we should work this out? No, I'm this horrible person that you done told everybody I was. I'm like, so if I'm this major horrible person, why is my phone ringing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like,
and we put ourselves in those situations too, just because we were never taught how to date. You know what I mean? And it's because dating is still relatively new.
Right.
When you talk to older,
especially here,
you know what dating is. Dating is a new construct. You know what I mean? But we weren't taught how to date. And I reversed engineered dating. Instead of going up front trying to show them all these things I think they want to see and telling them yes to everything, I tell them no to everything. Because I want to see how you're gonna respond to that. But also I can't tell you no if I can't accept your no's.
Right.
I can't make you feel a rejection, but I crumble every time you reject me. You know what I mean? So it has to be that reciprocation. I have to protect your peace. I have to realize, okay, I love when she comes home and things are peaceful and things are nice. I need to create that same environment when she comes home. That has to be the mindset of the relationship, in my opinion.
Let me read this comment from Adrian real quick. She said, I think some people are afraid of boundaries because of, as a child, there were rules and had harmful ramifications. And I definitely agree with that, in terms of sometimes I set boundaries and I don't have the full conversation because of that mindset.
Yeah.
Of what they may think based on how it was a rule and things
When you
like
say
that.
conversation, are you referring to closure?
No, I guess I'm in terms of explanation. Like if there's a boundary that needs to be set or that maybe was crossed that wasn't established.
Do you feel
And
you explain that?
Do I feel like what?
You have to explain that?
Sometimes I do, I think, yes.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Because I asked because I think what you're saying fits into like the last bulletin, and we'll keep it here. But the last bulletin is separating your major from minor relationships. I consider minor as Facebook friends, work employees. If they said something at work, like I'm never going to talk to you again, I would go back to work. If my kids said that, that would hurt me. I would carry that hurt. That would hurt. That would never feel good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to pay more attention to the roles people play in our lives. And I think we have one construct of what a relationship is, and we put everything in that construct. But every relationship works differently. I treat my kids different than my parents, different than my spouse, different than my friends, different than my boss, different from the people that work for me. You know what I mean? So I think that's where we have to come into in the beginning. Again, these are things before the relationship should do. Know your personnel. Ask these questions. Yo, could you see yourself living in Wyoming? Do you want to travel to Ghana? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to learn to cook Chinese? Like, just ask these questions. To me, that's dating. That's why dating became so important. Right. Because courtship was more so about the family. Courtship was knowing, all right, if I pop these babies out, you ain't gonna run off on me. You know what I mean? And dating is, I'm getting to know you. I want to know what you like. I want to know when you're having a bad day, what flavor ice cream to bring home. I want to know what not to say. And those are the boundaries that are vital. You dig? But they're vital depending on the relationship. I only explain things to my village. People outside my village, I don't owe you an explanation. I'm not explaining you shit. Like, figure it out. I ain't explaining.
When we say people in the village, people in the hut, that when I move, you move, just like that.
People that got my phone number. People I talk to on a
word to Ludacris. Move, you move, just like that. You know, the people I'm in the hut with.
And I think that's where we go wrong. That was the first way I found out Little Tim was wrong. Because I was trying to help the people. I was helping the people I wanted in my life and not the people who were already there. I was paying attention to the people that were running away and not the people who were showing up. I was giving all the love to the people I felt didn't need the love versus the people that was giving it to me.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted to blame that on everyone else, that was my fault. I allowed that type of behavior. I did that. And I did it because I was hurt. And that doesn't make it right. That doesn't justify what I did. But this ain't about right or wrong either. This is about, did you learn the lesson? Did you apply the lesson? Good, move on. Yeah. And that's how simple it has to be. And we were literally just having this conversation yesterday about the comment. You know what I mean? Because this is, to me, what fits into when it comes to families and tradition. A lot of people have a different understanding of what tradition is. And traditions have to evolve because times are changing. So a tradition can be, we're going to get the family together every Sunday to have dinner. You know what I mean? That's something that can evolve. But the tradition can't be, we're going to have dinner every Sunday at grandma's house. That's a rule. Because every generation didn't have grandma's house. What did they do before her?
Right.
So it's not a tradition. A tradition is something that can be passed down. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? Ooh. So a lot of us, like she said, like Adrian said, like, you know what I mean? Walisha said, a lot of us are calling things love and calling it tradition, but it's rules. And it's agreements that we're secretly having people enter into. Right. So if I was protecting your peace, I wouldn't put you in no contract, in no agreement. These are ways of how I know I'm not loving you correctly. Forget you having to tell me. Forget your emotions. I should be paying attention to how I treat you. every single day. Not when I'm up, not when my money good, not when I'm full. When I'm starving, when I'm broke, when I'm homeless, I should still be treating you like a human being because then I care for you. And if not, it's manipulation. I care what you can do for me.
That's why I love that whole saying. It says only the people that know you know that silence is when you're screaming the loudest. You know what I'm saying? Is that KYP goes back to that KYP again. Know your personnel. So when you know your personnel, you know when something's off. You know, so I don't have to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't have to throw out hints like, hey, we're not rocking. Like when you know your personnel and you're in tune with them, you're like, hey, something's off. You know what I'm saying? And we may not be able to communicate right then and there, but at some point, let's get this thing back on track.
I communicate that immediately. Those are the things for me we need to start going to therapy about. And I will communicate that in my relationship. I'm having a hard time reading your emotions. I have a hard time knowing when you're upset at me and when I'm doing something wrong. So first I'm going to come to you about it and ask you, is there something different I can do? Is it something different you can say maybe? I don't know. Let's try it. But if we can't get to that point, and I'm telling you in your face today, I want to be with you forever, we got to go seek help. We got to go to therapy. Because this will snowball. This will become a bigger problem. That's every problem. That problem didn't start off huge. You was ignoring it until you couldn't ignore it no more. Right. So to me, a healthy, proactive relationship is I'm trying to see if I'm wrong every time. And not to punish myself, not to make you feel better about yourself, so I can love you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because just so I can love you.
When I ask myself, am I the problem? I am trying to get on the other side of peace.
Yeah.
But I will not be gaslighted either. I need you to come to the circle as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's work this out, because a lot of times when you're always saying, well, am I the problem? That person can push that on you, and they're always going to search themselves. So I don't have to do any work. And I don't want to lighten that person's load of doing any work, because I'm always wanting to be on the other side of peace. So when you're a fixer and you're a peacemaker, you allow people to exploit that. You know what I'm saying? You allow people to be like, well, they're going to search themselves, so I can continue. No, because I'm going to hold you accountable as well. If we're going to have this friendship, if we're going to have this relationship, if we're going to have this brother-sister thing, or grandma and grandson, hey, grandma, you got to come too.
Yeah,
you got to come to the front of the congregation. Yeah,
everybody. But that's why what you just said, I think is so important for people to realize. That's why relationships are so hard. Yeah, and it's because everything that you think like, oh, I'm too afraid to do, is usually the thing you should be doing in the relationship. Right. Because the conversation you don't want to have, these are the conversations we should be having.
Because I tell you one thing. When you communicate with me, you have to ask yourself, do you want me to get it, or do you just want to let off steam? Because if you want to let off steam, you can talk to me any way you want to, but you can't be responsible for how I react. So if you come up to me with the wrong tone, or if you come up to me with some words that I'm not really, or you're not even trying to see or be empathetic to why I came to this conclusion, at the end of the day, I'm not dumb. So this is one-sided. So we're still going to be on Discord. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, to know me, it's like, man, he don't like to be talked to like that. Let me see if I can. We're men. We can be sensitive. We could be a little, and it might be words that I need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But figure out how best you want to communicate to me, because I'm gonna give you those two choices again.
Yeah.
Do you want me to hear you, or do you just want to let it out?
Yeah.
Because if you want to let it out, don't tax me with how I'm reacting to it.
Yeah, and they know they came to you because this interaction was going to be beneficial. People know our superpowers. They just don't want to highlight them. They don't want to big our heads up. But they know that you are going to come with reason and principle. These are protecting people's peace, even though you don't like what I'm saying right now. I am protecting your peace because you know I'm coming from where I'm coming from with principle. I'm not coming from emotion. I'm not bitter about what you're saying. I'm taking myself out of what you're saying. I'm talking to you as a friend now.
Yeah.
And as a friend, truth. You dig? Like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I feel like will never get you back in this situation, because this is uncomfortable for me too. This is why love suffers, because you do not see the other person's point of view. You do not understand why you're hurting. They're hurting even more watching you hurt, because they can't do nothing about it, and they know they can't. You gotta want to do something about it. So now they're hurting because they're putting all their faith into you, and nothing's changing. But they can't use that as a crutch either. Oh, well, I shouldn't have loved you, because that's love. Love is giving somebody the ability to hurt you and trusting that they don't. That's love. So it's going to be hard every single time, because you have to trust them. Trust and love go hand in hand. They're Siamese twins, like they belong. You dig what I'm saying? They have to be together. You can't have one without the other. So again, we've created this comfortable, complacent life to where now we're trying to have relationships without love. And that's just that's just a social contract. That's not a relationship.
Go ahead, Wally.
Did I share with y'all about right before I went to Ghana, there was a young lady that I know, and long story short, I was in her home and I observed some things, and by the time we were getting ready to leave, you know, she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Man, I'm okay, but my spirit is not okay. You know, I gotta say something, and it's not like to hurt you. I'm saying all of this shit to her, like it's not to hurt you, it's not to this and that and the other. I want you to take it the wrong way. I need you to hear me. This is spiritual work here." And I was like, "You no longer need to feed the baby formula. Like it's not advancing her. It's a disadvantage to her right now. And I'm just telling you, at the age she's at, you can go ahead and just feed her what you're eating. Like just give her small portions. Da da da." She like, "Oh, if I didn't know you was gonna come and judge me, I would have never invited you over." And I said, listen. I just told you, like, yes, I'm your friend. Like, I love you. I had to go into all of that. Like, but this is my professional work. Like, this is my life work. You understand? Like, I'm not telling you nothing that I haven't lived through and seen and experienced for over 20 plus years.
And you took an oath.
Exactly. So, like, but once I said that shit and got it out, like I was so much more at peace. Like it wasn't a peaceful situation, the fact that I had to, rise up and speak, but and her to take it that way, because she was crying and I used all the nice words. Like literally, I prefaced that, I packaged it beautiful. But still, she was at where she was at, and she even spoke it. She said, "I know it's pride, and maybe I'll get it later, but right now I don't want it." And I said, "Okay, that's fine too, but I'm still here to help you in whatever way. Like, no love is lost. Like, I'm still here to help. I still here him to do what I'm supposed to do." She was like, "No, thank you. I don't need your help right now, but thank you anyway." Da da da. And she still follows me and that and the other, but she has ended the connection. But I was thankful for that. Like, listen, when I don't have to drop somebody off that's not supposed to be in my inner parts, that's a piece for me. Like, if you're leaving on your own accord, thank you, because you're making room for the people that's supposed to be in that position. And then I have a hard time with sometimes letting people go when I'm supposed to. So I'm always thankful for when they exit stage left, in their time and fashion, so.
Ali, when I tell you, if somebody gives me the tools of their communication and it still backfires, that means that there's a respect level that you don't have for me. There's a respect level. I mean, you really need to look at that person because I'm like, okay, I came through the sideway. You didn't like that. I came under the building. You didn't like that. So now you're just showing me how you feel about me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Really, in those situations, because then I'm going to tell you, I met you in the middle. Now, if you're not going to meet me in the middle, let's go ahead, because now you want to tirade. Now you want to tirade over me. Now your ego is in the way, because now you just want to dominate. And I'm not one to be dominated. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not one to be dominated. So therefore, if you're trying to dominate me, I have to take exit stage left even. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm taking a submissive role because I like you. I want you. I want what's best for you. But okay, you didn't like that way. Okay, how best? Okay, and then I have to check the conditions. All right, are you in the space to receive this truth? Are you even, what is your respect level for me? Do you value, you know what I'm saying, what it is I'm saying? So at that point, when I see that, like you said, it's either I disconnect or I just shut up, because you have no respect for what I'm saying. So let's
And see, for me, it was hindsight. I did not see the disrespect right in the beginning. I mean, I think spiritually, my spirit was like, yo, like I said what I said twice, and I'd be damned if I say it a third time, that I'm not here to bring you any negative anything. And I shouldn't have to say that, because at the end of the day, I had to remind her. I was like, you just got done saying, oh, I'm so thankful how the universe keep connecting us. You know, every time I'm in need of some assistance, you happen to call me. Like, that's literally our link. Like, she would be heavy on my heart. And I'm like, oh shit, let me call her and make sure everything is cool. And it happened like 3 times within the last month leading up to this situation. And I was thankful for it, because at the end of the day, it puts me in position to be able to do what I'm put here to do. So I'm thankful for that. And I didn't take nothing from it. But once I was not able to fulfill what I went there for, I was thankful, because it was like, that wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. She was supposed to get this message.
Yeah.
And she spoke that it was pride. And I'm real big on words. And she spoke that she'll get it later. So I'm thankful that she'll get it later. And that
Her
I spoke
pride,
what needed to
but
happen.
insecurity that spoke. It was more her insecurity that spoke. Like, I don't want to do. I want, because it's one thing what people want.
Right.
People want to lose weight, but they ain't about to put that ding dong down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Word to me, right? So
Right.
she wanted motherhood, and she wanted to do it right. She just didn't want to put in the work because it was so ingrained there. So we really have to, when we protect our peace and other people's peace, we really have to zero in on their beliefs. I just spit some bars. If we want to protect our peace and other people's peace, we have to tune into their beliefs.
Right. And so for me, I didn't see that it was disrespect until afterwards. Like, I had to look into self and be like, hold on. You've been doing this work for a long time. This is not something that you just started a year or 2 ago. Like, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So make sure that anybody that said to you understand that you've been doing this for a long time, and respect has to come with that. And not even necessarily from people, but for myself. Like, I had to be like, no, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, how old is my eldest? First of all, how old is my eldest nephew that I the first child that I actually take care of? So yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Perceive that respect moving forward. So yeah, it definitely taught me many lessons all in one.
No, you go ahead, but I just want to shout out Derek that way for checking in. Go ahead, hit the like button, man, and share this. Anybody that's on the check-in right now, Christina, if you haven't checked in or shared this on your page or hit like, please hit like. It means a lot. Now we're serious now. As you see, Tim came with the bullet points. We're adhering to what you want. We're listening to you. We're protecting your peace. So you said you wanted structure. You wanted, us to be timely. So we got the bullet points. We need you to do your part. Please share. Please like, and that way this show grows. But go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to touch on a few things that I said on Facebook. And a lot of times I just say stuff on Facebook because it's controversial, because I want people to spark the conversation. I want to see how people actually feel. You know what I mean? So the first one was most disrespect can't be fixed with an apology. That's just that on that. I ain't going to argue that with nobody. You know?
Right.
And then the other one for me is, if I gotta constantly show you my value in your life and who I am in your life, I'm gonna take it away. I'm gonna get rid of it, because this is my home base is to tie in protecting other people's peace. Protecting other people's peace is also making sure they feel seen, and making sure they feel heard, and making sure they feel like they are vital to this situation. That they're tagging along, that they actually mean something. But to me, on the other end, if I constantly show you those things every day and you can't see them, we don't align. You're not my soulmate. You may just be attracted to me. You may like the poetry. You may like the height. You may like the weight. You may like the hair. But those things aren't me. That's not who I am. I'm so much more
to that. Yes.
Try to just paint you as that. So then we start internally feeling like that's all we are. I'm just good looks. I'm just jokes. I'm just dribbling a basketball. So being around people who want you for you even helps you be a better you. It helps you identify who you are. That's what family's for. It's because this journey is so long and daunting. Even me and all my might, I forget who I am some days.
Yeah.
I forget what I stand for some days. I forget my standards some days.
Yeah. Talk to him.
All of
us. Listen, that's such a word.
Old friends, we forget who we are.
Yeah.
My kids always remind me who I am. My family always, my village, they always remind me who I am.
Yes.
And in the beginning, all I knew was blood family.
Mm-hmm.
As I started to grow up and heal, I made my own family.
Yeah.
I kept that person. I love this person. I love that. I was making my own family, but too, I couldn't just say it was me. They was loving me back. They were doing everything I was doing. So that's why we got to get out of that. These are the true reasons of psychologically why I down religion. It has nothing to do with how people live. I don't believe in giving one person all the power and all the glory. I don't believe in that. Every single person in this family played their role. Every single person helped you throughout this week, throughout your life. I hate when one good thing happens and like, oh, let's thank this person. Thank everybody who interacted with you. The people that broke up with you, the people that rejected you, the people that stole from you, they taught you something. So if you go into relationships now, even if they last for 10 seconds,
even if not 10 seconds,
if you go into that looking at what you can learn instead of what you can get out of it, I'm not saying it's going to be better. I'm not saying it's going to be worse, but it's going to be a whole different dynamic than you're used to. That's what you have to start giving yourself.
And let me tell you something about this beautiful thing that we call time. Time not only heals, but it really allows the space you need to reflect and to think. So you think that person is out of your life forever. They just mad. Yeah. And they might need 3, 5, maybe even 10 years. I know, man, there is no other success story, and it's been on Huffington Post, and it's been on CNN, and it's so funny is that these two boys from Harlem had a 15 to 20 year beef, and I'm talking about Cameron and Mase.
Yeah.
And you can go back to the YouTube and how they used to call up Hot 97 and threaten each other and this and that. These were once boys that it really got real between
living
these
streets
two.
away from each other.
Streets away from each other. But it really got real that they were threatening each other's lives, and it was really bad. And then of course Pastor Mason Bethel went down to Atlanta, got himself together, came back to the street. Yeah, I'm glad he's back to his authentic self. But
we missed you, Mace.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you're back to your authentic self. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, there you are. We always are amazing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, to see these brothers laughing and joking and being on this podcast and just really getting it back together again, it lets you know that it can take 15 years. It can take a while. And that person, again, they are dead to you from that time, from that 2000. That person is dead. But then when you reintroduce yourself to that person, these are the new people that you're reintroducing. This is the connection that you're making.
Exactly.
So shout out to Mason Cam, who got their stuff together, and they rocking.
He is one of my, what I would consider mentors. And I have many different mentors. People I've never met, people I've known my whole life, people like Nip, shout out to Nip. You know what I mean? But Cameron, man, like Cameron he showed me that I'm allowed to do this my way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are trying to become great feel like the ego has to come with it.
Yeah.
And that messes up the bag. What I love about Cameron is he already has a resume. He could stop today and will have a resume, but he still goes into that next thing like, I'm Cameron. Yeah. And everyone else is like, oh my God, it's Cameron. But he's like, I'm Cameron. I'm doing it as a person, as a new person. And so I'm coming into your arena. I'm coming into Alicia's cushion. And she's teaching me how to cook. I can't be the teacher and the student. I have to be the student. I don't care I play basketball and do poetry well. I can't cook. So I have to allow her to teach me. So when I see people who are already great in their own right, and someone's teaching and they can sit in the front row and shut up and pay attention.
Yeah.
You more powerful than people give you credit for. You on to something. That's what it is. That's when I study the greats. That's what I see. They were humble. They did not think they were better than anybody.
And he's really like that. I remember
good people.
And I'm gonna let you jump in, Walisha, because we got about 3 to 4 minutes. But when I seen him at Power Fest, and you seen the whole Dipset, I remember all the caravan, all the SUVs and the Suburbans, the movement, all black. Jim in one, Jules in one. This is when Dipset was Dipset. Yeah. He came to Power Fest. Cam was the humblest one. Everybody else was acting funny for interviews. Cam comes up to us like, I'll do your interview. Yeah. Like, you the chief. Like, why is Jim acting crazy? Why is Jules acting all like? Because I understand you're important too.
Exactly.
You as the blogger are important too. So Cam did our interview out of all the Dipset. So like you said, he's really like that.
Yeah.
When I see you, Tim, out on the street, you really like that. When I see you, Walisha, you really like that. Because I had a perception of Wally until she was vulnerable right here in this hallway in front of everybody. And I was like, oh, because my depiction of Wally was this strong person who always raises her hand in class and always has a word or intellectual word to say. But I saw her in her vulnerable moment. I'm like, yo, okay, now we're getting underneath, we're getting to the core of who you are. Y'all know I've been vulnerable on this show plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be broken to be built back up again. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see the other side of peace. So my closing remarks is, and I hope my family does get this, I'm glad about the ostracization. I'm glad about the marginalization. I'm happy for it because it did cause me to ask the question, am I the problem? And if I am the problem, when you see me next, I won't be the same person that I won't be the same person. As you can see, God is still continuing to bless me. As you can see, my village in front of me right now. These are my family. This is my brother. This is my sister. My significant other belongs to me. She is in the hut with me, no matter what you see us go through. So therefore, I know the type of person I am. So when you try to discredit me or put this out in the street that I'm this and I'm that and I'm this, I may have been those things and I may be a work in progress now, but I know the person that God has molded me to be. And I'm not being on a self-righteous tip or anything like that. But if we have a problem, we can't just be fixing your problem. We have to come to the center. I'm willing to listen to your problem, but you also have to understand my plight and understand that whenever I hurt you, what position that I was in. Maybe I was not in a position to hear you out. Maybe I was not in a position to help you. Maybe I was so focused on survival mode. Let's go back to that word again. Maybe I was in survival mode that I had to get to the shore and I had to have tunnel vision. So it may have looked like to you that it was a selfish moment, but you had no idea of what was going on the other side of my life. To my children, you don't know about my survival mode, but until you have this conversation with me, then I can explain to you what the survival mode looked like for me, to where you felt like I was not there for you, where you felt like I had cast you to the wolves. Daddy did not do this. Daddy was in survival mode himself. And this microphone right here, I had to get to the other side of this because this was my calling. This was the journey that I had. So I never did abandon you. I just had to get to this moment, this place and time right now. But I still have faith that each and every single one of my family members that may look at me a certain way, or we're not on the right side of peace, because I do want to get to the right side of peace. And this is not for my audience, or this is, y'all know me. I'm not fake. I'm transparent on this show, and I'm transparent out here on these streets. But at the end of the day, we're going to get to that point. But you got to hear my side of it too. I will listen to your side, but you got to hear my side too. And when you really hear my side, you're going to really know it wasn't that deep.
Exactly.
It really wasn't that deep. But until you have this conversation with me, we're still going to be at odds. We're still going to be, you're going to be over there and I'm going to be over here. But guess what, baby? I'm still going to keep living. Until God turns the light, baby, I still got to keep living. It doesn't mean I love you any less. To my babies, it doesn't mean I love you any less. But I still got to keep living. Go ahead, Walisha.
Oh, sure.
Did you can I close?
Yeah, you can close. I'll add on to, and we'll do our event stuff too.
Absolutely.
November 18th, make sure y'all COSI, Excellence, Black Gala.
Yeah,
Black tie gala.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
It's black.
It's blickety
There's
black.
21 authors in it, all black. All the musicians black.
Black
all the
black.
Food vendors is black. So make sure y'all come out to that. Shout out to my girl, Queen the Street Poet. We got a show November 19th at the Wild Goose. We're doing a poetry show for it's Men Appreciation Month. So we got hella brothers. We got like 15 brothers coming out doing poetry, doing music. So make sure y'all tap in and tune into that. And everything you said, I'm going to piggyback on, because that's how I feel too. You know, this is a message to anybody who has confusion about me. Like, I still love you. You know what I mean? I can be upset with you. I can be distant from you and still love you. I still love you no matter what happens. And this is the point we have to get to. This is what I force a lot of people to understand, because I overstand it already. I'm going to be really good to you. You may consider me being really bad to you, but I'm not doing everything to be good and everything to be bad.
Yeah.
And once you realize I'm good to you, you can't just think, oh, everything he has is for me. Like I'm trying to supply the world. I'm trying to give the world grace. I'm trying to give the world love. I'm trying to give the world the feeling of being seen, of being heard, the validation, the family, the village. You dig what I'm saying? Food for thought, like peace, prosperity. I want everybody to have that. So we have to take ourselves out of everything. A lot of things in our life are stressful to us because we're trying to put ourselves in it. And we just have to analyze it without us in it. We have to analyze it for what it is. So when we break down to the bare bones, and I've done my shadow work and I've reviewed that, I don't hate anybody. There's not one person that I can say I hate.
Ooh.
I have hate for nobody. I don't care that much to hate somebody. So you know what I mean? And on the flip side, be around the people you love, man. We started to joke. We started to show off with a joke. I think it was off air.
Yeah.
But it was people on Facebook basically saying like, I don't know if we having Thanksgiving this year or y'all haven't invited me. Stop going to places you're not invited. It's hard. I get it. I was a kid who did not show up for holidays. I would see my family in passing. You know, we had that party. And I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they wasn't inviting me. And my first thought was to be upset. So when I healed myself, I realized they did me a favor. They made sure I was where I was supposed to be because they wasn't holding me up where I wasn't supposed to be. So thank y'all. Thank you for everybody that I yelled at you. I cussed you out. I thought you did me. Help me. I was wrong.
Yeah.
You helped me. You saved me from myself. To my children, you've saved me from myself. And I tell them that to their face. I've told them that since they were born. You sent my life down a different trajectory. And I know in the moment where it doesn't seem like I'm around, I could be doing anything out here, which is true. But I always let them know I'm helping people. I'm talking. I'm listening. I'm hugging somebody. I'm high-fiving somebody. I'm picking somebody up. They'll get up. You got it. You know what I mean? I'm telling somebody, go try. Go move to China. Go take that trip. Go try that relationship. Try that new meal.
Yeah, so absolutely.
When you feel that in yourself, you have that love. That doesn't mean people gonna call you every day. Yeah. I've been in this for 15 years. I have people I love near and dear who's never been to one of mine. I don't hold that against them. They have a life. Yeah. Grace works two ways. So we got to stop looking for grace, and we don't want to give grace.
Right.
At the end of the day, things are not what they seem and are not as bad as they're gonna be. You dig? Like,
right.
I want you to close, Walisha, but before you do, I do want to say this because I would be remiss that Tim brought about this series of Protecting Your Peace.
Yes.
Before Walisha closes, if you are a veteran and you have served this country and you are thinking about ending your life, there are so many resources. We understand that America has turned its back on you, and a lot of things that you should be getting right now, that there are resources. If you need me as a resource, if you know someone who is struggling right now as a veteran, please, oh please, oh please have them get at me, because I know tons of people and representatives that can get them housing, that can get them food, that can find their way to a job, that can offer counseling if they have been marginalized from their family, because a lot of these veterans feel like they have no one. We salute all the veterans that have served and all the veterans that have went on to do great and marvelous things. But I definitely want to talk. I mean, this subject would be remiss because there are so many veterans that are on drugs and they have not had specific people to talk about the things that we have seen in that desert, the same things that we have seen overseas and things of that nature. So happy Veterans Day before Walisha closes. But if you do need help, before you do anything rash, please either reach out to me or someone that can get you the help that you need. Go ahead, Walisha.
I'm sure.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, I want to close with a post that I made the other day, which was that I really don't want to be a part of a village that have a problem with me, or people have a problem with me, but they can't come to me directly and talk to me about whatever issue they have with me. When in Ghana on my retreat, it was very consistent lack of communication, even though we were communicating, lack of understanding the communication, right?
Sure.
So everyone was speaking English. Everyone spoke English there, even though they had the 3 other languages that I came in contact with. They would speak privately. Everyone still spoke English, but even in speaking English to them, even in them speaking their language, people were still misinterpreting what was being communicated over and over again. It kept on coming up. Like, that was the message to me. Overall, was communication is key, but the fact that we all can understand the words that are being spoken does not mean that there's a level of understanding of what's being communicated. And that's where we're having a failure in relationships or these other situations, that we are speaking something to someone, right? The words that we're using may not compute in their mind and their makeup the way we need them to compute. So that's why, even when it comes to this situation that I have with this friend slash client, it was lost in the sauce because she couldn't compute that the words that I was saying was not harmful. It was not spoken to hurt her or to make her feel like I was judging her. I didn't even use that. I just said, hey, listen, the supplements that you're giving her, especially because we don't understand the terminology that's on this packaging, the formula itself, we don't understand the formula. It's okay and it's safe for you to just feed her the foods that you're eating, the fruits and whatever that you're eating on a daily. You can cut it up for her and feed it to her. I packaged it as nicely as I can put it, but her computing was negativity, was okay, this because of something that's going on the inside of her. So I think naturally we communicate, one, because there's a lack of understanding, there's a lack of whatever. If I'm supposed to do a job, or if I was supposed to do this task and I don't understand, I need you to communicate to me about what I'm supposed to do. But if I have understanding about what the task is and what I'm supposed to get done, I ain't talking to nobody. I'm just getting shit done. There's no need to communicate. So I want to just leave y'all with that, is that as we are growing and as we are evolving as a people, and as we're saying, hey, we want the village, we want this and that and the other, it's the common denominator is you speaking to these people that you want in your close proximity. You saying the tough shit that the next person ain't gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you walking with your shoelaces untied and you gonna fall and bust your face. I know you didn't walk past 100 people and they didn't have the decency to tell you, but I want you to be, I think you're a nice brother. I want you to be right in life. So I'm gonna give you this little piece of information that's gonna save your life and not have you looking like a fool out here in these streets. Tie your shoes up. Or get some tieless, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you gotta do, but cover yourself in this area because it could be detrimental for your life. So yeah, communication is key, y'all. That's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely. Hey, aside from me being at CJ's tonight, first of all, let's give a round of applause for our panel, because we got 9 likes, 12 shares. We average anywhere between 6 to 7 views at a consistent basis. I'm not sure what the views are like, but this lets you know that this show is effective. This show is growing, and we are listening to you as becoming more structured and things of that nature. It is Good Friday with Good Life Russ, Wild First Plug.
Oh, I forgot to say where I'm at tonight, or Saturday. Sorry. I'm in Cleveland. Yes, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in Cleveland at Exotic Cuisines. There is a show going on. So it's comedians, and other artists in the city that are going to be performing at that location. So yeah, that's where I'm at on Saturday.
Well, the biggest announcement, if you're not doing anything, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. until 5 p.m., we will be at the Lincoln Theater. That is where the documentary, It Makes Sense, the documentary in honor of our fallen soldier, Amber Evans, and it's going inside of the real story of the lady in 19 floating in the Scioto River, that she did all of this major work when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, and a lot of stories around that of how all these activists tend to mysteriously start committing suicide. You know what I'm saying? But this is her story. And shout out to Shaquana Cummings, who actually was on the show this week to promote this movie tomorrow.
So you talking about Amber?
Yeah.
She went to Northland. Shout out to Amber. Yeah, rest up. That was my dog. She was amazing.
If you can, support this movie tomorrow because her story is going to be told, and we're going to uncover some uncomfortable things when it comes to her story. Okay, again, it's at the Lincoln Theater, 2:30 p.m. until 5 p.m.
How much it costs to get in?
Yeah, absolutely. $17, and it's well worth it because these are independent film artists, and a lot of them are the Ohio Media School alumni. So again, and shout out to Miss Pam, Jess, Diana, Sean Anthony, who allow us to come in here and cause rhetoric in these hallways each and every single Friday. We appreciate you guys because we know that we are a passionate group, and we know we get a little excited and passionate, but we thank you for coming here single a week to do this. One more announcement. Avian and I are back again, but we're abandoning all of our personal things, and we are putting all of our energy in undergroundcolumbus.com. That is the radio station that we are bringing people in. Wally is an alum, so we are inviting our alum to have radio shows. This station is for the students, but it's also for our alum as well. So we are building this up so that way we can provide an alternative for the independent artists, for the independent poets, and all the creatives and things of that nature, that you can come and have a hub and get right on the air. As you can see, our show is growing, but we want to grow other creatives as well. So Underground Columbus is where you can listen live. Check out the website. We're still developing in it, but it's looking fresh to death right now. Okay. So again, thank you, Ohio Media School. Thank you, Underground Columbus, Sean Anthony, Diana. God loves you, and I do too. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace, peace, peace.